Hello there guys and welcome back to Blues Fans TV for my live review of Chelsea 4, Everton 0. Pardon me, by the way, for just stopping the intro early. That wasn't the intention. Kind of clicked the thingy too soon, basically. That's what happened. But, yeah, welcome. What a performance. What a performance. What a win. What a result. I'm bloody pleased. I mean, I certainly didn't see that coming. If you watched my preview that we uploaded yesterday, I was like, can we even expect all that much when we have this many injuries? Okay, it was only 8 players missing because Willian did actually manage to come back and even start the game, actually. So, that was, of course, brilliant. And, had a good performance, scored 1, assisted 1. So, really can't complain on that end either. But I didn't see this coming. I didn't see this coming. At the same time, though, Everton kind of did exactly what our team likes. We struggle against deep-sitting teams when we have to break them down. And we struggle against pressing teams when we're playing a 3 at the back. When we play 4 at the back, and they tried to attack and press and left spaces in behind, which is exactly what I spoke about and talked about in my preview yesterday. And we managed to exploit it absolutely brilliantly. Of course, as you can see, this video is again sponsored by OneFootball, so thank you to them. And if you haven't already, please go down below into the video description and download the OneFootball app via the link that is there in the description. It is the best football app out there, and it will also massively help us out. So it'd be massively appreciated if you could go down below and download the OneFootball app to your phone via that link. That'd be absolutely great. And of course, if you haven't already, also make sure you subscribe to Blues Fans TV and drop a like on this live stream if you're happy about the win today, if you're happy about the performances. And let's just talk about it. Let's just talk through it, because today was brilliant. I mean, today was brilliant. When I saw the lineup, I was like, okay, pretty much the team that you'd expect once Willian, was available and fit. Obviously, in my preview yesterday, I spoke about the team as if Willian wasn't fit. But the rest of it was kind of self-explanatory. I was, very pleased to see that Kepa Arrizabalaga was in goal again. A back 4 of the 2 centre-backs being Antonio Rudiger and Kurt Zouma. Okay, it's the one you expect, not quite the one I wanted, but the one Lampard was going to go with. In this scenario, unless Christensen possibly could have pushed into it, but, Zouma was fine. The 2 fullbacks were Azpilicueta on the right and Marcos Alonso on the left. People were like, why on earth is Reece James not starting? And I understand that. I was also feeling a bit bad for him not starting, but it's understandable. Jorginho and Aspi, and to some extent Rudiger, are our leaders. Jorginho is suspended, so Lampard was never going to not start Aspi when Jorginho isn't there. And because Alonso's good form at the moment, he was also never going to play Aspi at left back over Alonso and then start Reece James at right back. And because Willian was fit, it wasn't necessary to put Reece James into midfield where he hasn't played in the Premier League before. Even though Billy Gilmour hasn't either, but Billy Gilmour has at least played in midfield in this team before. So, that was slightly different. Then we had a midfield 3, a proper 4-3-3 today. Billy Gilmour has the deepest of the 3. Ross Barkley to his right and Mason Mount to his left. And then a front 3 of Pedro on the left, Willian on the right, and Olivier Giroud starting up front. And the game was just good. I mean, we had chances early on. I think a Pedro cross, might have been a Willian cross. That Mason Mount arguably could have done a bit better with when he took it on the volley inside the 6-yard box or on the edge of the 6-yard box, but didn't get enough direction on it, and Pickford managed to save it. And then we had another moment, a Willian shot that Pickford did well to save. And then let me just get the exact minute right. In the 14th minute, we did manage to make it 1-0 through a brilliant team goal. I think the stat I remember was 20 passes in the build-up to the goal. Brilliant. And then some really good individual play by Pedro from the left wing, cutting inside, playing in a good ball to Mason Mount. Not even a brilliant ball. It was still difficult to handle and to manage for Mason Mount, but Mason Mount with a brilliant touch and a brilliant turn, and then a brilliant first-time shot after the turn, so second touch shot, I guess. Brilliant finish into the bottom near corner. It was a brilliant finish. But we didn't stop there. We didn't stop there, because only 6-7 minutes later, we already made it 2-0 through Pedro. And again, a beautiful goal. A ball to Giroud, who lays it off to Ross Barkley. Ross Barkley with the first time through ball to Pedro from the left, who made the darting run, perfectly cut in the lines. It was just about onside. And unlike against Liverpool after his run and being 1-1 with the keeper, this time Pedro managed to score, put it into the bottom right corner and just finished it. Shortly after that, Everton, to be fair to them, fair play to Ancelotti, they did change their system a little bit from a 4-4-2 to more of a 4-4-2 diamond. And also us taking the foot off the gas a little bit. And that slowed the rest of the second half down, the first half down a little bit. Not that much was happening. We were still trying, and we still had, I guess, aim to go for a goal. But Everton did absolutely nothing. They had Calvert-Lewin through a goal, who just bottled it. First Alonso with not the greatest of passes to Kurt Zouma, and then Kurt Zouma just with a bad mistake. Shouldn't make that mistake. That led, let Everton through, and then Calvert-Lewin was kind of 1-on-1 with Kepa, but just put it wide. So, I guess we were kind of let off on that one, but other than that, it was complete and utter domination, even though we didn't really pushed like crazy for the third goal in the first half. You know, it was still utter domination at half-time and then 2-0. And going into the second half, the 2 goals in the second half came even quicker than they did in the first half, because in the 41st minute, Willian already made it 3-0 with a lovely strike. A lovely strike. Again, lovely build-up play. This time Ross Barkley with the assist. Again, so that was his second assist in the game already. But yeah, just passed it to Willian in midfield, who from, what would it have been, 20, 22, maybe even 25 yards, just takes the shot, perfectly blasted into the bottom left corner. Somewhat similar to Barkley's finish against Liverpool in midweek. Lovely, lovely goal. And then only 3 minutes after that, Olivier Giroud makes it 4-0, also popping up as a striker. From a corner, actually, Willian playing it short to Billy Gilmour. Billy Gilmour straight back to Willian. And then Willian with the first time cross into the box, and then Giroud with good movement, and then with a good outside of the boot finishing into the, you know, far corner from where he took, you know, the effort, I guess. And that was then 4-0. We had our chances to make it 5. Tino Andrin came on later on and had a decent chance. And we had a couple of other moments where we could have just played out our situations a little bit better, and that would have then been it. But other than that, it was just us. It was literally just us. Let me just get to the stats quickly. We had 61% of the ball. We had 11 shots on target, 5 off target, while Everton had 1 shot on target and 1 off target. So that Calvert-Lewin shot in the first half, and then a shot in the second half that Kepa, to be fair, could have done a bit better with. He let it bounce and needed the defender to clear it in the end, but the following cross, he caught very, very well and very safely. That was the only 2 shots they had, and Kepa had another moment a little bit later in the second half when they hit us on the break, where he did really well to, you know, come for a low cross, but just catch it, like hold it tight. Even I think it might have been Moise Keane stepping on his hand, but kept holding it tight. So still, again, looking good for his, you know, confidence, coming for the high balls more, which is what was always my personal main criticism of Kepa. I thought he was good on the line, shouldn't have been blamed for as many goals as people did blame him for. Basically, I thought that was a bit harsh. And also, you know, his passing out from the back is still generally good, even though he had some moments in this season where he was just struggling with it. But he's coming out for high balls, where there was crosses or just set pieces. It should have been a bit better, and that has improved against Liverpool and today. So I'm very, very pleased with that. And overall, what can I say? It was a brilliant performance, a brilliant win, really, really important in our fight for top 4, because Spurs dropped points again yesterday. Arsenal, okay, they won, but still, you know, Spurs dropped points, Wolves dropped points, and Man United are about to take on Man City, which, I mean, I hope Man City win, because, you know, that would just give us a 5-point gap to 4th and to 5th, sorry, and just makes everything a lot better. And finally, for once, other teams dropping points and us actually managing to pick up the win, even though we had 8 players missing today, which, you know, just makes it good. And, you know, as much as I sometimes criticise Frank Lampard, I also have to say fair play to him today, and everything worked well. Like I said in the beginning, Everton made it somewhat easy for us, because this is what we like to play against. They pressed us, and, you know, they tried to attack, played a somewhat high line. And like I said in my preview yesterday, as soon as we passed that pressing line, we had space to attack and not that many more opponents to play against. And then if we just made the right runs and made the right decisions with the passing, we were good. You know, we were good, and that's exactly how we scored our goals and how we created our chances, and it was absolutely brilliant. They did make it a little bit more difficult when they changed it to a proper narrow 4-man midfield. Made it a little bit more difficult for us in the first half to dominate midfield as much as we did earlier. But still, we were in complete control. And I have to talk about a couple of performances today. I mean, put it in the title, but there was even more, you know, brilliant performances than I managed to put names in the title. Like I mentioned Ross Barkley, I mentioned Pedro, I mentioned Billy Gilmour. They were all absolutely brilliant. Pedro really setting the world alight at the moment. On Tuesday against Liverpool, it was the work rate. It was brilliant, even though his, you know, attacking play and also his finishing for the one chance wasn't good enough. But today was just everywhere. You know, it was defending like crazy, running his socks off as he does, but then also getting an assist and also getting a goal. He did get an assist, didn't he? I think so. Which assist did he get? The first one for Mason Mount, of course. I remember now. Just brilliant. You know, that's what I want to see from him. If he's to play at 32 years old, that's the kind of performance I want. Billy Gilmour, what a star he is. That was his first ever Premier League start, and he literally, I mean, people on Twitter, everyone were going mental. It looked like he'd been playing the Premier League for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, like 100 Premier League games. He was so comfortable, he was so confident, and he just did everything right. But one moment where he kind of forgot that he's the deep line playmaker here and needs to hold that position, otherwise we're in danger to be hit on the counter. He left that position to go out on the right wing. We were hitting on the counter, but we sorted it out in the end. It was fine. But you need to be a bit careful with that. But other than that, absolutely brilliant. You know, he's such a good player. And honestly, as much as I love Jorginho, and you guys know that I love Jorginho, if Billy keeps playing like this, and, you know, with the couple of things that he has over Jorginho, well, he of course still has things that he's not as good at as Jorginho is. If he keeps playing like this and performing like this, and especially improving like this, Jorginho will really, really struggle to get back into this side. You know, for rotational purposes, of course, he will at some point in the season. And I still think Lampard would prefer Jorginho unless Billy just plays every single game like this now, then maybe not. But generally, he will. But just what a masterclass, what a player this kid is, and I just hope that, he gets more and more chances to play in midfield. Because, again, later on in the game today, when Reece James came on for Mason Mount, picked up a little injury on his ankle, and Reece James came on in midfield to play the deep line playmaker role. Billy Gilmour pushed further up the pitch and was immediately, literally the second Reece James was on, the first thing we did was Billy Gilmour being involved and trying to cut it back to Pedro and Giroud in the box, and just about getting intercepted and cleared for a corner. So he was immediately involved in all the positive play as well. It's just brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. What a player he is, and just so much more to come from him. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And Ross Barkley, I mean, if this is the Ross Barkley we can have at Chelsea, yes, please. If Ross Barkley can keep performing like he did against Liverpool, like he did today, and even like he did against Spurs at home, brilliant. That's exactly what I want to see. Dynamic on the ball, still strong, but also smart with his passing, releasing the ball quickly, shooting when needing to shoot like he did against Liverpool. Didn't get on the score sheet today, but 2 assists. The first one for Pedro, absolutely brilliant assist as well. That's the Ross Barkley I want to see, and if he can keep performing like that, I'm changing my mind and wanting to sell him this summer, because if he can play like that, that's ridiculous. He was ridiculously good today. Also Mason Mount, brilliant finish. Kind of, under the radar a little bit after he scored for a little while, but then came back into it again early in the second half and also late in the first half. A brilliant performance. So much movement, so many really, really good runs, really safe on the ball, and good touches, good passes, good runs. More security today. He looked like he was more fit, then picked up a little knock again on the ankle. I think it is the same ankle that he got injured against Valencia, and he's still not 100% right. So, that's obviously a bit of a shame, I guess, but brilliant. And even Willian, even though there was reports at half-time, literally, that, his wife kind of hinted at him going to Arsenal in the summer. What a goal. What a strike, and also what an assist for Olivier Giroud. And also just generally a good performance. A little bit more under the radar than Pedro at times, not working quite as hard defensively. Even though he still does, it's Willian, he still does work hard to some extent. Pardon me, just needed a sip of water. But again, plenty of good crosses as well. The Mason Mount chance early on, that was a cross by Willian, and a shot early on that he had, a Pickford did well to save. And Pedro actually, forgot to mention that chance, had a chance to make it 5 at the time that Pickford did well to save. So, we had a chance, we could have easily scored 5, 6, easily could have scored 5 or 6 today, and brilliant. Also good for the goal difference finally, because we haven't scored enough goals in recent times. Also a clean sheet, which is brilliant. Kepa back-to-back clean sheets now, one of them in the Premier League, which is very, very good. And I just have to be happy. And I have to mention other players as well, not necessarily outstanding performances, but Olivier Giroud was really, really good. Had a couple of moments I'm like, don't come that deep, but that's a manager instruction, so I'm not blaming him necessarily for that. And a couple of first-time passes that was like, what are you doing? But generally, brilliant how he involved himself in the game. Also, the kind of opponent that really suits how he tries to play as a striker. Well, either they sit back really deep and he uses his strength, but also when he has that space and the quick wingers around him, he can receive that ball, lay it off, and we move. And he did that really, 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 really well today, and also took his goal brilliantly well as well. So I was very pleased with pretty much everything. But also Aspie had a pretty decent game. Alonso had a pretty decent game, bar a few moments, the general Alonso moments, a couple of dodgy defensive moments where I was like, were you? In that moment where Kepa did well to save the low cross, Alonso was in the middle of nowhere. First he didn't move out quick enough, and then he did way too late, and then that opened up the other passing space. Just didn't do that right, and in possession just sometimes takes a bit too long to get rid of the ball, to pass the ball. But generally a good performance. Zuma had the mistake and got booked following a mistake for a tactical foul, because he made up for his mistake in that sense. Rudiger could have done a little bit better for the chance Calvert-Lewin had, but generally a really good performance today. Really good, the better of the 2 centre-backs in my opinion today, simply because Zuma committed 2 mistakes. But really, there's not that much to say on the centre-backs, especially because we were just so much better than Everton today. We just absolutely annihilated them, tore them to absolute pieces. We're just a much, much, much better team, and thoroughly deserved to get that win. And Kepa had to make 1 save. On that 1 save, he could have done a bit better, but the catch in the high balls and also that low cross that he held tightly and safely, that was really, really brilliant. And, now we have a week off to the Villa game, and I'm looking forward to it. Of course, Jorginho is still suspended. Let's see what happens with Kovacic, whether he's going to be back, possibly Kante. We don't really know much about his injury situation at the moment. Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi, let's see what happens there. Hudson-Odoi probably going to be out for a while longer with another hamstring injury, of course. But let's see what happens, and I hope Billy Gilmour stays in the side. And generally, I really like this idea that Frank Lampard goes with when he can, of 1 deep player and then kind of 2 attacking number 8s, rather than the Sarri role where he has 1 attacking 8 and then the Kante role. I like that. Lampard likes to do that. He wants to do that. That's what he did at Derby, but he didn't really do it as much this season to some extent, also to make way for Kante, because he doesn't see Kante as a deep lying playmaker either. That's why Kante plays so high up the pitch, which is why he's sometimes so frustrated, because that's still not his part of the game. But when we can play like that today, with the two players like Barkley and Mount, it just works brilliantly. Our pressing is so good when we have the two players that are capable of that have the energy, and that then can also do something with it in the final third. It's just brilliant. It honestly is absolutely brilliant. And it's good to see. Of course, we can't do that against everyone. We shouldn't try that against Man City. We shouldn't try that against Liverpool. We shouldn't arguably even try that against an Arsenal. But against another team, someone like Everton, we can try that. Is it the best thing to do against a deep-sitting team? To be honest, I'm not sure. We haven't tried it quite often enough for me to judge that, in my opinion. But I'd probably prefer it to having Kante in that role, simply because they offer more creativity also when trying to break down a low block. But yeah, I'm just really happy with it. I'm just really happy with pretty much everything. And also, we gave two young kids from the academy, their debuts today in Faustino Andrin, which is quite a funny name still, but Tino Andrin came on for Willian in the 71st minute, and then later on in the 86th minute, also Armando Broja. Not quite sure how to pronounce his name. He's of Albanian heritage, even though he's born in London, in England, pardon. Not sure how to pronounce his name, but Broja, I'm going to go with that for the time being. He also made his debut as he came on for Oliver Giroud with about 5 minutes to go. And yes, like I said, Andrin could have really made it 5-0 with a good play. Really, really good by Billy Gilmour, just pressing the opponent, Andre Gomez, stealing the ball from him, then squaring it to Andrin in loads of space. Messed up his first touch a little bit, probably a bit nervous as well, and then couldn't get his shot in before he was slide tackled off the ball. Not a penalty, by the way. So that is all brilliant. If you guys hadn't, watched any of my live reviews before, I will now get to the chat and, react to a couple of things that you guys put in there. And yeah, let's do that. Kepa has kept 2 clean sheets in a row. That is brilliant. I agree. Usually after an Achilles injury, you end up with other leg injuries, i.e. muscle connective tissue. I mean, that might be true. It seems like that it seems to be the case for Hudson-Odoi. I don't know which of his legs is the problem. Is it the other leg because he's using it more because he's still a bit worried about his previously injured leg? Or is it the same leg? I don't know. But that could possibly be true. Zouma need to add some smart and less physicality. Like he's annoyingly grabby players for no reason. And when he misses, he causes injury to himself. He's old enough and experienced enough. I'm trying to, depict that message. I get what you're trying to say. He's sometimes a bit rash, is what I would say. But the thing with Zouma is he just looks more unorthodox. Christensen has had moments like that. Really got countless moments where he tries to defend aggressively. The player somehow manages to put it past him, and then they either commit the foul or they, storm back after them to try and make up for it, I guess, or get back into position and defend. But because Zouma is so big and looks just a bit weird when he runs, in a sense, kind of makes it look worse than it actually is. Let go, Billy Boy, for the future. Let's go, I assume. Probably. Prediction for Manchester Derby. Interesting. Hoping for a City win. Probably like 2-1 or something, because United usually turn up in these. So, Upamecano, I mean, good luck trying to sign him from Leipzig. Just not going to happen. Would have loved Ruben Loftus-Cheek to have minutes. Same, but he played in an in-house friendly alongside Christian Pulisic on Friday. So, back at that point when Lampard confirmed that in a press conference, it was pretty much guaranteed that Ruben wouldn't be involved today because, unless he, if he would have been involved today, would have been preparing for Everton with the rest of the team. Says he's leaving RB. Okay, I mean, then maybe we could look at that. Everton did nothing. I was DM. Don't know what that means, but okay. You were shocked. Yeah. I was shocked as well, to be honest, but that was mainly for us being so good. Same formation and same players against Bayern. No, that would be a bit too crazy. Depending on if Kante is back, Kovacic has to play. If Kovacic is fit by the time we play Bayern, Kovacic has to start. Who he starts over, at the moment, I don't know. Depends on how severe that Mount ankle problem is that he suffered today. At the moment, Barkley kind of deserves to play over Mount, but that's just because Barkley played against Liverpool and Mount didn't, and Barkley was brilliant. Mount came on and was good, but not quite as good as Barkley, I thought. And then again today, I thought they were quite even, but Barkley played the whole game, Mount didn't, so we'll have to wait and see. Genius performance, I agree. Don't think Zouma had the best game, agreed again. When Pedro plays, often he shows top qualities, and Barkley needs to be less selfish in important moments in the game. Didn't necessarily think he was particularly selfish today, but I understand where you're coming from, I guess. I understand where you're coming from with that. Billy is just great. I completely agree. Look it up. I mean, I believe you. But yeah, Billy is better than Georgie. Don't necessarily agree on that. It depends on what you want from the player. With the offensive dribbling side of the game, driving the ball, of course, because it's a lot quicker and a lot more dynamic on the ball. But with controlling a game, you know, Billy hasn't been tested as such quite yet. You know, still to some extent by Liverpool, but not quite like Jorginho. You know, Jorginho, people know how good he is at that. That's why he's getting man marked. We first have to see how Billy will deal with getting man marked and, you know, trying to be marked out of a game. So we'll have to wait and see how that happens. But, you know, he's just absolutely brilliant so far and, you know, just deserves to get more game time. Tomori or Christensen Tomori or Rudiger, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, really. Rudiger today was good, but then again has some shockers now and again with his positioning, especially Tomori not really been in the side, played against Bournemouth, had a decent overall performance but 2 bad mistakes in that game, so we'll just have to wait and see. It's a really difficult one to judge the 2 centre-backs from you at the moment, personally. How successful do you think Lampard's first EPL season? Well, let's judge that at the end of it. If we make top 4, as much as, you know, there was things I criticised throughout, I will have to say it was a very successful first season because I certainly did not expect us coming 4th or top 4. If we don't come top 4, then there will be things to criticise and there will be things that were good. That's just how it is. For me, Billy needs to be much more stronger to step up, to be honest. I mean, he's never going to be strong. You know, it's never going to happen. Look at the size of him. He's 18. He's not like 15 anymore. He's never going to bulk up crazy. So, you know, you're just going to have to accept that to some extent. If you had to sign 2 players in the world, who would you sign? Be realistic, bro. I mean, being realistic is always, you know, a difficult one. Like, what deem realistic? Do you know what I mean? Like, if he wasn't injured constantly, I'd love Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona. But if he wasn't injured constantly, then he wouldn't be realistic. So, you know, that's that one. I'm happy with Ziyech. I would like Jadon Sancho. I think he's a brilliant player, and I think there's so much more to come from him as well because he's so young. And, you know, at the same time, would a right now prime player help us like Ziyech is, a 25, 26-year-old that is right now really, really good? Yes, they would. But how many are out there? How many will we get? Not that many that are of that upper level. And if we can get Jadon Sancho, that'd be brilliant. And other than that, wouldn't mind a striker. But who? I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. Got youth system, Faizan, go to hell. Don't know what Faizan said. But, guys, I think I'm going to leave it here. I've reacted to a couple of things. I've also been going for almost 23 minutes, so I'm going to leave it here. Thank you guys for watching today. As you can see on screen, again, like I said in the beginning as well, this video is sponsored by OneFootball. Thank you to them. And please go down into the first line of the video description and download the OneFootball app via that link there. It helps us out a lot. It is the best football app out there, so you definitely won't be regretting downloading it. What was up my speaking right now? But yeah, also, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to Blues Fans TV. Drop a like on this live stream if you enjoyed it. Drop a like on this video if you're watching it at a later point. And also, if you're watching at a later point, leave me your thoughts on the game in the comment section below. Click the I button that is up there to, you know, poll, you know, give me your answers in the poll for who was your man of the match. That'd be very interesting to me as well. But yeah, guys, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you guys for watching. Thank all of you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. But yeah, it's up to Chelsea. Great win today. Let's hope we can finally get back-to-back Premier League wins when we, you know, play Aston Villa next weekend, because we haven't had back-to-back Premier League wins since November. So, you know, it would be good if we can finally get that, but today was brilliant. No complaints from me whatsoever. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea, and I'll see you when I see you.